Lock and load. Here we go. Ladies and gents, here's what's going on today. You may or may not notice this handsome guy across from me. You do? Okay, no need to introduce. If you don't, his name is Baby Joe Mesi. He's a Buffalo legend. And I said, hey, Joe, you want to come back on and do a part two? He was kind enough to say, yeah, absolutely. And let's meet in person this time. So I'm very blessed to have him sitting in front of me. What's happening, my man?
Man, it's good to be with you. Good to be with you, Don.
It's always my pleasure, man.
I had a great time the first time, so I know this Moneyball is kicking off, so I want to be a part of it again and help out any way I can and contribute on your show. So
I love it. I love it.
New.
Even
new in the world.
Well, even better today for anyone unless you're living under a rock. It's the day after Election Day. So what do you got for us, Joe? What's the news here?
It's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting for a lot of reasons. It's exciting that it's over.
Yeah,
man, it's
you're gonna stop getting the spam calls.
Yeah, the mailers, the commercials, and I listen to news radio a lot in my vehicle, and it's all they talk about. And
he's old.
It's old as dirt. They'll continue to talk about it. It's not like it's going away, but it gets tiring. So I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it worked out the way it did. It's funny. I'm a registered Democrat.
Okay.
And for those who don't know, I ran for office in 2008. I ran for the New York State Senate here, and I have a passion for local government.
Yep.
I certainly have a greater passion for the community. And I didn't win that. I won the primary. I didn't win the general. It all worked out for a reason, I think.
As things tend to do.
I don't look back at life like that.
Right.
I made great friends, connections. That was a 12-month campaign. It was a very big race for a state Senate seat. I had fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. It wasn't meant to be. And then my life kind of really unfolded, which is my career now. And I'm in sales, medical device sales, and I love. But would I ever run again? That is maybe in the top 3 questions I get whenever I'm in the community. Hey, when are you going to run again? When are you going to run again? And I don't mind. Look, I'm 50 years old. Am I going to run again? I would never say never. Probably not. But probably not. But I don't know. I have the passion to do it. But I have other things that right now with my career that I love and my children at a certain age.
Yeah.
But if the community really needs me in a certain area, I would consider it, I guess.
Joe, you're a lot like me in the sense that you take on a lot, and I think you can handle a lot. But internally, you probably feel like you can handle a lot until all of a sudden you have a lot, right? So let me dissect that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I can handle this. I can handle this. I got this all under control. Sure, you got another task for me. You got another job. Well, what's this project? What's this investment, right? Then you look at everything on your plate and you say, what the hell is wrong with me? What am I doing? Politics, I feel like you'd be tremendous at. I also feel like you don't have to rush into something like that, right? 50, you're still a young man, So I think, at least my opinion with it, is that you'd really need to be kind of, for lack of a better term, balls to the walls. You would really need to be like, this is my go right now. You know what I'm saying?
You would have to be.
That's my opinion. Now, how hard is it to run? So you said 12 months. Tell people who might not know about this. I've had a couple friends run for different things. It's tough, right? You're knocking on doors. You're raising money.
A lot's changed since 2018. I didn't have social media.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I don't care if you're running for councilman or county legislator. Those little seats, the races are longer. They're more expensive. You need more support. You need more money. They're contentious and they get nasty. Yeah. And the political divide is I don't know if I'm ready for that. I really liked flying under the radar, number one.
Yeah.
I've also, kind of more in my money-making years. That's being selfish. Again, if the community needs me, but you'd have to be 100% in. And right now, I feel like I'm more valuable to the community just going to schools, talking to children, maybe attending a fundraiser for a cause.
Yeah.
Look, I still visit Children's Hospital with some of the Sabres and things like that.
Yeah.
I do public speaking. I speak to colleges. I speak to high schools. I speak to former athletes. I feel like I'm being contributed. I do a mental awareness discussion,
which is so important.
I feel I'm doing more good now. Just doing that.
Yeah.
So
we'll go with pillar of the community.
Yeah,
A pillar.
ambassador. I like to say ambassador. Jim Kelly once called me. He's like, "You're an ambassador to Buffalo."
Well, you are. You are. There's a lot of people who kind of quietly go, right? You have a career, regardless of what it is. Let's say you're a Saber or a Bill, or hey, you could be a golfer. Any career, right? Anything you're doing, and you go silently into the night, right? Some people prefer it that way. You, with the success you had, and especially staying in Buffalo, I think it would be near impossible for you to do. I'll being honest. You're just such a recognizable face, and what comes along with that, Joe, is I'm yet to meet someone, and I'm not saying this because he's on camera. I promise. I'm yet to meet someone who said, "Oh yeah, I met that baby Joe. What a dick." I really I haven't. I almost want to because it's like, like what are you, a saint or something? But like I constantly get this. Oh yeah, man, he's a great dude. He does this. He does this. Even for someone like myself, we have a relationship where we met once. I'll say, "Hey, Joe, let's link up for a show," and you're willing to do it. That tells a lot about the type of character you're dealing with, and that's the type of person, quite honestly, that I would vote for as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's a great credit to this community how I'm treated. It really is, and that's why I'm so loyal and love this community. My success is based on the community
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
Really, my success is based on Buffalo. I became one of the hottest ticket sellers in the sport, not
100%.
because I was good, because of Buffalo.
You're pretty good.
So, and Jim Kelly told me when Jim's a friend of mine, and
Yeah.
we were at an event together. This was years ago. He's like, "Joe, people could call me loyal because I live here. I contribute. I went to 4 Super Bowls. I'll never have what you have," he says. "I'm not a Buffalonian."
Right.
He said, "You have something special. And I see the way that people treat you." And I go, "Wow, Jim, I didn't really get it then, but I get it now."
Yeah.
And I love the fact that guys like Thurman, those guys come back here because why they come back here? They're not stupid.
Yeah.
Because these people are great and they
Yeah.
love them. And that's why they come back here.
Isn't he?
And I'll tell you, I could have been, I might have said this before, I could have been undefeated. I could have been #1 heavyweight in the world in 2004, like I was from Miami. I could have been #1 in the world from Houston, from Vegas, all these places I trained from California. I
Right.
could have been #1.
Right.
Would I sold 20,000 seats?
No.
I would have sold 10. I wouldn't
Debatable.
have sold,
Debatable.
I
But
would've-
I
I'm
get
just
your
telling
point.
you.
Yeah.
It wasn't much boxing. We're not celebrating boxing. We're not celebrating me. This community is that unique. This community is that special.
I do agree with you there. Joe was the biggest thing, and I don't like to say was. I don't like this. I don't like to make things sound like a has been. I remember going and seeing you, absolutely sold out arena. I mean, you couldn't get a ticket for the stuff, and that was just Buffalo venues. You put boxing on the map for Buffalo because nobody really knew what boxing was. There was a small kind of an inner city following, and you got the old, the old guy like in Rocky who probably owned some gym downtown or something.
I will say, I
was
can
no
take
presence.
a little credit. Now, Buffalo has a rich boxing history, Donovan. It really does. We've had 6 former world champions. Many people don't know that. The last one was not since the 30s or 40s. But we've got, back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and it started, slowly dying. But even in the 60s, the amateur New York State Golden Gloves sold out the auditorium, sold it out. When you were
Was it
amateur
War Memorial then, or
War Memorial?
Okay, yeah.
When you were an
That's a lot of
amateur
seats.
Golden Glover, almost as if you were a local celebrity. That now, I'm not discrediting. I didn't even go to the Golden Glove. There's not a lot of people there, and it's,
Nowadays,
yeah, and it's a shame. I wish it wasn't like that. But
Tell me what is the Golden? So my wife's grandfather was a Golden Glove boxer. Tell the people what it is. Golden Gloves boxing is what? Is it a league?
Golden Gloves is the most recognizable, I think, statewide amateur title.
Okay.
I'm sure every state through USA Boxing, USA Gymnastics, USA Boxing, every state has a USA Boxing committee, and you have to qualify.
Yeah.
Like I said, my grandfather and my uncle were Golden Gloves champions.
They might know my wife's grandfather.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's an Irishman. Powers.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
All right. He took him down, so I can call him tomorrow and I can
God, I was like 25, 30-0 for an amateur. And you lose a lot in amateur. Then you started losing. Amateurs having losses is a given, even Mayweather. Everybody, you lose.
Yeah.
But
they see the talent level and they see what they can work on.
Yeah, the scoring system is not great.
Is it a lot more? Does it come down to more scoring too in amateur? I mean, or you're not knocking as many out, right?
My God, they used to have red and blue back in the day,
Yeah.
and we would watch and count punches. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. let's get back to the political,
Oh,
right? We were,
yeah,
we
hey.
were doing our political show. This guy just goes on a rant about his career like he
Yeah,
was important or something. I mean,
Hey, listen, registered Democrat, happy Trump won.
yeah, let's
Big
talk
win.
more about that. I mean,
Big
it's
win.
pretty wild. Here we are on the 6th, and I stayed up late last night, man. I got caught up. I told myself I wasn't going to do it. I did. I was just mesmerized. I can watch. They have the thing up on the screen, and they're moving it around, and you get caught up in it, don't you? I don't know if you did or
I
not,
did.
but I woke up at 5 a.m. and turned the TV on, and I'm not going to lie, I was shocked. And here's why: the popular vote, right? My opinion, and please touch on it because I want your opinion on the Electoral College. I think it's one of the wackiest things, and I know it's been around forever. I was watching the Abraham Lincoln 1860 election a few days ago. I'm just kind of a nerd like that, and I watched, and it was the same process. Electoral votes have always been part of the system. It's not new. People think it is. However, what's new is California gets 54, Florida gets 30, Montana gets 3. You know what I'm saying? They keep adjusting that every year. What is your thought on
That I
electoral votes?
don't understand how they get the delegates and the number of delegates per state. I wouldn't know how to answer that. I mean, I just love voting. I don't think I've ever missed. I love voting.
Listen, there's a lot of countries who don't have that right, and we do.
I agree.
You know,
And I don't care who you vote for. I love
Right.
the fact you get out, and I don't care what letter is next to your name. In fact, I'm probably more conservative than I am liberal. I'm
Yeah.
a registered Democrat, and I won't change it intentionally. I was a little sad walking in, and I brought my son with me because he hadn't seen the process. He's 12, and I was about to make my first. And I go, wow, presidential. I go, it brought it back to the real. I go, these are our choices, huh?
yeah, yeah. There's
We've been distracted for 3 years about, it's not new to us. We know who our choices are. And I was about to go, wow, so this is it. This is really our
when you saw it, like you actually had to see it, right?
Wow.
You're right. You're
wow,
right,
wow,
man.
that's,
I think there's so many people that share that same.
Now I've met Donald Trump. I've seen more than once, but it's not someone I'm
Have you really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a minute. I mean, that's people are going to want to hear about
posted a
that.
picture on my yesterday. I posted a picture of me and him at Madison Square Garden. He came in the locker room after my fight, and he was great. I've actually met him at another event too.
So obviously, way before he was involved in politics.
Yeah.
Have you met him since he's been involved in politics?
No.
Okay.
No. But because I have met 4 presidents, so I've met four former.
Talk to us, Joe.
Four
Talk to us.
So I
Hold on, name them. Let's hear it.
Both Bushes, Clinton.
Were the both Bushes at the same time?
No.
So you got some stories.
Both Clinton, Bill Clinton,
Okay.
was probably the most impressive guy I've ever met. And Donald
Well, he didn't inhale, nor did he have sex. So I mean, he didn't do either one of those
I'm
things.
gonna tell you, I was a fan.
I just liked the cigars. That's all. He enjoyed the cigar.
I was a fan.
Yeah.
But
But how could you not be?
of course,
Were these guys-
Hillary
was
helped
it-
me out in my campaign.
Was it intimidating meeting these guys? I
Bill-
mean, being
Bill
someone
Clinton-
like you, any of them.
I've met so many celebrities. I've been fortunate enough, and
But they're not
so many-
presidents. They're not presidents.
Bill
Isn't that
Clinton,
different?
meeting Bill Clinton face to face was I don't know how to explain it actually. I was at a Sabres game. Those Golisano invited me to a small 40,
That's where you met him at a Sabres game?
His Golisano and him were friends.
Okay.
Golisano owned the Sabres, and he had a little wine and cheese 40-person meet and greet
Okay.
with President Clinton. I got to sit in a box
Okay.
with Golisano and Clinton.
Phenomenal.
Clinton watched the Sabres game.
Is it in the height of your career?
Right toward the end, maybe 2004 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're up there in a box.
Actually, it was before the game.
Okay.
And we're all having wine and cheese, and he's about to walk in. And when he walks in, I mean, listen, he's younger. He's tall and handsome.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, he's the consummate professional.
Yeah.
And I've met maybe like Sugar Ray Leonard would almost compare, but no. When he looks you in the eye, he cares and probably has a memory. He's engaged in just you.
Yeah.
And I was like clamming on, and he's looking me eye to eye.
Yeah.
And he's like, Joe, he obviously got updated or briefed
Sure.
about these good box. And he's like, do you know Jeremy Taylor? Because he's from Little Rock. I go, yeah, Jeremy Taylor. So he's from Little Rock. He knew Jeremy Taylor. I know Jeremy. Like
another heavyweight boxer.
Not a heavyweight, but he was briefed.
Yeah.
He's like, but then you watch him walk the room. He only had an hour. He comes back 60 minutes later. He met 40 people. Joe. And like, how would you even remember?
Right.
Like,
Because he just walked 40. Yeah.
I forget the policy. When you watch him do that,
I know what
I
you're
don't know if
saying.
it's fake. I don't know what. I don't have that. I don't even know
It's a gift. Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
It made me feel like I don't even know. One of the most impressive, definitely the most impressive guy. I'm sure he's very smart. George W. was at a convention with my wife, and then of course Donald Trump once in New York, and then when he came to my Madison Square Garden fight, I was kind of concussed, so I don't have much memory.
Did he want? Did he want to meet you afterwards? Like,
Yeah,
was it
well, he
was
and
it
Tyson.
was it set up, or was it like, did he want to meet you? Or how did that
I
work?
didn't know he was going to be at Madison Square Garden that
Okay,
night, but
okay.
I'm sure whenever he's at Madison Square Garden, he probably
Wants to meet the
I'm
fighters.
sure he gets to go and
He can pretty much do what he wants. Yeah.
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 Tyson was there. He came in. They were all together. I didn't realize there was going to be a bunch of celebrities there.
MSG, they're showing up, bro. Yeah.
The main event was Klitschko. That was a heavyweight. That was a championship fight. So there's a lot of people, celebrities there actually.
Who did you fight that night?
Monty Barrett.
Okay.
That was a tough fight. Monty's a great guy.
Yeah.
That was a 10-round fight.
One of a couple of concussions.
Sure. Yeah. I remember I went to the hospital. I was like, man, I was banged up that fight, but it was a good win.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So, yeah. So I just think
That was actually a big one for you too, because that was, I mean, obviously being in the spotlight.
well, there was not that I wasn't tested before, but Madison Square Garden HBO knows
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
the winner of this
Wait.
gets to fight. They knew this winner of this gets to fight Giroff, and the winner of that will fight for the world title.
Yes. Yes.
So that was obviously a
Yeah.
big test. Now
Put
Monty,
you on a map for a lot of people that didn't know who you were too.
Monty Barrett fought for a world title 3 times. He never won.
Never
He fought Giroff, obviously. Robert Davis, who I fought here, he fought for a world title twice. David Eizon, who I fought here, he fought for a world title once. A lot of guys I fought and beat fought for a world title.
And you fought Monty in his prime too. And I mean,
Yeah,
he was
he was
prime.
built very
Yeah.
good. I never got to fight for a world title. All I want
Yes.
was an opportunity. I might have lost too, but I'm just saying, man, I'd be 4 guys who have fought for multiple world titles.
Right.
Deverell Williamson fought Klitschko. Deverell Williamson touched his sleeve, my best 30-second win. He went the distance with Klitschko.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want an opportunity here.
You know what? With you, it's one of those things, and I don't know you well enough to know if you share this sentiment, but I'm a very, very, very strong believer in everything happening for a reason in the universe, right? And right, and I mean things like that in your life that have. By the way, guys, if you know, this dude's got some paws on him, right? I mean, he's gonna club me in a minute, just send me flying through the window. But you know, you look at it now, and you don't know what might have happened with the condition and things like that, right? And everything worked out exactly the way that it did, in my opinion, for a reason. Now, yes, it sucks, right? Because you didn't get a shot at that heavyweight fight, you know, and you could have a belt, you know, at home, because you can never take that away from someone. But I've heard you say on more than one occasion, you know, that everything kind of worked out the way it needed to. And
yeah, it's
you don't have
easier.
regrets.
It's at a later date and age. It's easier to
Did
say.
you struggle at first with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I struggled with a lot of things in 2004 after the injury. I gained weight. I was out drinking. I started experimenting with drugs, and I was like, I was taking trips back and forth to Vegas for this hearing. We kept having hearings.
Yes.
I knew it wasn't looking good.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't looking good I had neurosurgeons fly with me to support me.
Yeah.
Still did the best neurosurgeons. And it still didn't look good. My team was probably more excited than I was. I'm like, it's not.
Did you kind of have a feeling? Did you have a gut feeling?
Yeah. And we had some options. We can go to Europe or maybe, I don't know. I wasn't fond of that, but so I just wasn't looking good. But then I was like, what am I going to do with my life that I'm going to love and passionate about? I thought about this for so long.
Yeah.
And right in the time when I'm supposed to make 12 million, and not that that's, but like just when you're younger, punkish, and I'm like, when you have to get knocked down to get stronger. Boxing and life, there is no better metaphor. That's why when I public speak, it's so easy for me.
Yeah.
It's so hand in hand. I can speak to almost any audience because I think, I want to write a book. I think everyone should get punched in the face, man, in life.
Have you written a book?
No, but I'm considering it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because my speaking is going so well that I think, it's because it correlates almost to every audience. Everyone should get punched in the face, and you're not going to get stronger.
Kind of a good name for a book, isn't it?
It really is, because
everyone should get. I mean, it's kind of a good name for a book.
It kind of is,
right?
Because I thought about it.
Yeah,
because you can't get stronger.
Yeah.
My favorite win, 30 seconds against Touch of Sleep, my friend. I learned nothing. What did I learn from that fight? You don't learn.
Interesting.
that's my favorite. I got first round.
That's interesting.
My favorite fights, my 5 first round knockouts. I learned nothing.
Right. Yeah.
When are you going to get stronger? When are you going to learn? When are you going to become better if you didn't get beat up?
Your best fights, the most positive moments, maybe the most glorified moments, you learned the least from.
Yeah. But
right?
in the ring, I learned about the sport and the fight. I learned nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I look when I went 9 rounds.
Super interesting.
I went 9 rounds with eyes on. Yeah, I won, but I learned that I really, man, I took so much from that fight that I studied and boxing and the correlation of life, even in the ring. I'm not talking about how to throw punches, but navigating yourself. Where am I? I see things. I look through life through the lens of a boxer. I look through life through the lens of a fighter.
Now explain that a little bit.
Of where I am in my life and my path, whether it's parenting or my job. Here I am in the ring, but the back of my calf is going to touch that rope. I have to make a decision right now. Am I going this way or am I going that way? I got to know where that post is. I'm looking at this guy and I know that I've watched the film. This is what he's going to throw. And this is how you have to look at your life. And I've got knocked down. I've got to take my 8 count and give him this round. I'm not going to try, I'm not saying I was good at all that, but I'm just saying that's life. And if you don't get beat down, I lost my mother and I did some things throughout my career and the injury. God made that happen for a reason. Those were the tools he was giving.
Yep. Well, that's what I believe. Yeah.
To make me become who I am. Because I'm sitting here with you. What if I wasn't sitting here?
How'd you reel it back when you were making the Vegas trips and things started to unhinge or get a little bit derailed? How did you reel it back?
I didn't. I was drinking and.
Well, you did because you're here.
Well, I did.
I mean, what was the main thing that happened that kind of
with a lot of help. There wasn't. Funny what I'm saying. There's not a core. There's not a thing. It's not my now wife, who I got engaged to, who is educating me. Yeah. Supportive all the time. If I wanted to box, but always educating me. And I learned so much from her. Of course, kids came in the picture. That was a little later. And it wasn't my time for the community sense, but God knew that I'm going to do better for the community just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Silly things like this. And I run into somebody yesterday. Yeah. I went to a fundraiser 2 weeks ago for a woman that has cancer. And 3 people at that fundraiser were like, oh my God, I got your gloves from this fundraiser.
Right.
Oh my God. And I'm like, I remember that kid's house burnt down. I'm like, oh my, and it's silly things like that. So that's small contributions that are important to other people that I might not think of.
Right.
I'm not trying to get corny, but I have a stack.
No, you're not corny.
I have a folder with a stack of letters or emails.
This is the least bit from corny. It actually shows how real you are, and it shows the type of human being you are. I mean, if this is corny, give me every single episode like this, man, because this is what I want to hear. And to expose yourself a little bit is great. You know what I mean? And we're all human, and it took me years to do that. This interview is 100% about you. However, it's inspiring to hear some of this stuff. Like I'm 6 years sober, and I kind of had a moment where I guess some people would call it an aha moment or whatever it is, right? Where I had an exact moment where I was like, okay. And it's amazing what kids do and what wives do. I had already had my first son, Deacon, and Jackson was 2 or 3. We had, kind of an incident that changed my way of thinking, right? And it was like, this is not the way I want to live. You know what I'm saying? This is just not, it's not an option anymore. And in one day, whole turkey bucks. I haven't had a beer in 6 years.
That's awesome. That's a story in a book in itself. Everyone has.
That's what everybody tells me. It's like
everyone.
It's co-write, bro.
We are all a book. We are all a movie.
Right?
We're all a movie. How do you want it to end?
Yeah.
How do you want it to play out?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I like to look at it. You think this person here doesn't have a story? It's got a story.
Yeah.
Got a story. Everybody's got a story. My first job and role in this world is being a father. And it's the best job I've ever had.
It is, but
the best job.
I could not agree with you more.
The best job I've ever had.
And for people,
it's the toughest job I've ever had.
No doubt. And for people who don't have kids, and I would always say this, and let me know if you did too, right? No, you can't. But I would always say this, right? My wife and I had kids a little bit later. I was 35 when I had Deacon. And 35?
Yeah.
And most of your friends had kids, right?
Yeah.
They did. And a lot of my friends had kids when they were 19, 20 years old. So when I'm having kids, their kids are, 15, 16, going through the process. And I was living my life, going out, still partying away. And I would always be the guy saying to them, what's the problem, man? You can't go out. What now? You have kids and you can't go out and do anything. I don't even think about
Yeah.
going out, man. If
Yeah.
I do, it's to my son's hockey game, or this weekend we're going to Erie, travel out, and it's baseball and say if it's not sports, it's art or whatever the kids are into. Anything that they want to do that makes them smile, right, Joe? Like I want to see them smile.
It's great. And I want to instill in them, kindness, of course, but it's not what they do. They're going to be their legacy. I don't want them to worry so much about that. I worry too much about that. Sports, God gave me boxing as a tool. It wasn't the gift. It was just the tool to lead me to gift. And my gift is maybe contributing or helping or
That's a
learning
cool
or
outlook.
talking
That's
to
a cool
kids.
outlook.
I have people tell me, my God, I remember your message. You came to my 6th grade
Yep.
class. And I have a folder of letters that people that email me from other states saying we donated my dad's organs because you had that foundation. It's like,
That's a great way to put it.
it wasn't boxing was not. Yeah, I'm 50, and guess what? I'm not done. I'm not done.
You don't look 50.
I don't think it's
You
not
don't
about
feel 50, do you? I mean, there's still
about age, really.
Yeah.
I just, I care about.
Isn't it weird though? Like 50. Like, I mean, that's you say 50. I'm 46, and you say that, and it's man, I'm old, but you're as old as you feel. I never. I said this to my wife the other day when we met. I was the same age as her mother. I'm the same age now.
yeah.
I'm the same age now as I was.
Isn't that-
Right? Like, how was her mother ever my age? Right? Like, that's so bizarre to me that her mother was even my age.
Wow,
But
that's right. My mom
Think about
passed away at 56, and I'm 50. So now I'm like, geez,
my dad
You know
was
what?
45. I outlived him by a year. I mean, that's weird.
yeah, that's weird
Yeah,
because
yeah.
not only are you like, first I think, geez, they got robbed. They got robbed, and then also like, geez, no one's invincible.
I know.
I shouldn't have had that double cheeseburger, but
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
good.
but
aren't
yeah.
they? They sure
So-
are good. Gotta live.
So I'm just true, but I think like I'm not done yet, and I feel I'm going to lead into something else. I always feel like I have more to offer and more to prove, and outside of boxing, some people might call me foolish.
Do you not feel you've proven that enough?
No, I mean like I don't want it to be involved. I don't want it to do with boxing.
Right, but I mean, with everything that you're doing, you have the reputation, and you are Baby Joe Mesi with the boxing. But I mean, I don't know. Just talking, you're Joe Mesi to me. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, I mean it. Like you're just kind of a cool dude that's just sitting and chop it up with, and going and doing the community things. You can of course say I box, but your message and everything that you've said, you brought up boxing a couple times. You don't even need to. You have a gift, man, and I mean that
I
sincerely.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But as a part of me, I love the sport of boxing very much. I can't tell you. It wouldn't mean how much I love it. I love it then.
I was gonna say, why everyone who asks, they say, Joe, why doesn't he have a boxing facility or training facility in Buffalo?
There are things I miss. There's not really being in that ring. What I just explained to you, boxing and life, I can't tell you how many correlations I could make. And I try to, when I'm speaking, put people in my shoes, put them in the ring almost, and try to think about, because they don't understand. They never were boxed or punched,
Yeah,
navigated a boxing ring.
yeah.
And I'm trying to tell them how comparable it is to life, and in your decision making and being hurt and crushed, whether it's emotional and mental. It's just that's what I love about it. Now, the business of boxing, no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
And you've made that very clear. I will say this, like as far as you changing the dialogue, the business of boxing has a sour reputation. You changing that dialogue. Could that be another tool that you were given? Now let me kind of rephrase that,
I
right?
see what you're saying.
You know what you dig? So like you open, Baby Joe Macy's Boxing Academy, and everything's done different. I'll forget the blueprint.
It's early, but it leads into a potential business plan that a few friends of mine and I have that's in development.
With a
I
facility.
just did a TV commercial for a dentist. And the guy is like, it's going to be funny. And I go, listen, I'm happy to. I go, I can't agree. And he's offering, I'm going to pay you this. I'll take it. I go, well, listen,
Give me the treatment.
I got to come to your office.
Give me the treatment. Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean? I go, I'm not just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do?
Joe, you put your stamp on approval. 6 months later, he's been nitrosing girls in the pants. It's like the Seinfeld, right? Remember the Seinfeld? The pants were down. Jerry's pants were down. What was going on at the dentist's office? My pants were down.
It's not like it's Gatorade. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. But it's a low, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
And I promote some things on the radio.
Love
My
that.
partner's idea, downtown boxing gym. We have a location and everything. Might need investors. Because of the correlation of life, it is a boxing gym.
Yep.
but it's an after-school summer
Yes,
program.
yes.
And I have volunteers and people there helping kids. We're going to get kids commuted there. We're going to get social worker, someone
Love
they can
it.
talk to. Kids can learn podcasting.
Love
They're
this.
going to get their extra help and work. It's not an accredited school, and this is not an after-school program. This is not the Boys and Girls Club. I grew up in community centers. That's what the sport of boxing is.
Yeah.
Don't know where we'd be without it. Great. Way more. This is going to be
Those will still be there.
every kid that comes in is going to get a unique, what do you need special?
Yes.
We plan a small kitchen. You need to learn to cook.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little theater, drama thing. There's going to be.
Chef Darian, you hearing this?
Listen, when you get, and we've got a lot
You know
of, we're
Darian?
talking, I know Chef.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah.
We've got a few like bills. We're getting some people involved.
I cannot thank this man enough for taking some
Yeah.
time with me today. It's funny, man. You always know when you kind of got a good relationship or the conversation's going well. We said to each other, let's plan on something and talk about it a little bit. And I think we touched on everything from Bill Clinton to, in that short period of time. It's just wild how both of our brains just in the conversation just keeps flowing effortlessly, right?
Yeah, it does.
It was, again, political, like, hey, this is what's going on. And it just became so many other things, which I love that it can. You got bright ideas, man. I think 50 is the new 30, right? We both have some bright ideas. The futures are looking good. And, thank you so much, man.
I
for
do.
taking
It's
some time.
my pleasure. I just think that everybody should forget the divide. We're all one country, one community. Start with your community. That's local politics is the most important. The presidency. We all make such a big deal of it. Contribute to your school boards and your council people. That's where it's most important, where you're going to see the biggest difference. Anyone wants to get a hold of me, I'm getting a website, joemesi.com will
I'll
be
put it up
done
on
soon. My old boxing website has been gone for years, but joemesi.com is in the works.
Getting rid
I don't
of the
know
baby. Are we getting rid of baby?
I think someone bought it. It was so much. It was too much to buy back. So
No, baby.
joemesi.com. That's fine. It's really just to get a hold of me.
Maybe we go babes, yeah. Baby with an I, and we'll put a heart over the I. Phenomenal conversation, and definitely, someone that you'd want, at least I would want speaking at my son's school. I would vouch for that. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Everything,
Yeah, Moneyball.
everything was great. My
You
man.
got it, buddy.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Cool.
Impulse is revolutionizing the physical therapy experience for active individuals in Western New York. From marathon runners to warriors of the weight room, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge technology takes sport-specific testing to the next level. Our patient-centered approach lets you drive your own recovery. You can expect individualized one-on-one sessions every time you're here. And the game changer? Impulse is home to Western New York's only public board-certified sports PT. If you're ready to get back in the game, call Impulse today and mention Moneyball for $100 off your first visit.
This is Big D Tire. Big D Tire sells tires for less money than the competition. I cannot make it any more simple than that. Big D Tire is where you want to go to buy your tires. Moneyball highly recommends Big D Tire. Orchard Park, New York. Big D.